That was a guitar. This is a piano. And this is a recorder. Why these three? Because I only know how to play three, and by talking incorrectly about others, I run the risk of being shot at by a bow. Instruments are the tools by which music is produced, learned when the one lodged in our throats doesn't seem to work quite as well. Some of you have dedicated hours of practice and a decade of lessons so you can play Für Elise and River Flows in You on command. And by the time you finish learning the most recent musical trend, you're a few months too late. Like at school, your ability as an instrumentalist is ranked by grade level, meaning you might still be in grade 3 on your 53rd birthday. But generally among people, the difficulty and complexity of the piece you intend to show off with are marked by how unpronounceable the title is. Let's begin with the instrument, which likes to call itself grand, the piano. This massive chunk of wood is a child's second encounter with a love-hate relationship, second only to siblings. It teaches you the basics of music theory and is a gateway to easily learning all the other instruments. It's divided into 88 keys, which are grouped into octaves, except the two in the class who hate group projects. There are white keys, there are black keys, but put them together and you get jazz. Piano teaches you to sit up straight, to read notes, to be disciplined, to hate piano, to love piano, to be brainwashed by Für Elise, to have proper hand posture, hand independence, and finger speed. This second instrument murders your fingers until all the skin dies and revives, this time invincible as iron, and after sliding across metal for months, you begin to grow 3 adamantium claws. The guitar is a large chunk of wood which has often 4 or 6 strings which you can pluck, strum, or slap, each note and chord going up by a half step every fret. The one I described earlier was an acoustic guitar, but there are other less painful alternatives. However, bar chords will still remain impossible to do. So we often stick to the Formula 4, G, D, E minor, and C. On a side note, whether you pronounce this instrument as ukulele, ukulele, or ukulele, I agree with most to use its nickname, uki, to avoid confusion. There are 3 tools quite universal to nearly all types of guitars. First, the truna, which urges you to turn those pegs until the strings explode. Second, we have the capo, otherwise pronounced as cap-o and dying finger. It clamps onto a specific fret to entirely raise the guitar by a number of semitones. It's also there to remind you of how strong your finger will become after all those calluses. The third is a fun-sized triangle called pick, pike, or fingernail. My guess is it's called that because of how many times you have to pick it out from the cavernous dungeon in which it loves to find itself. Is that a train? Nope, it's a recorder. This instrument is a flute-like woodwind saliva stick, usually made of plastic. It's as loud as a train whistle, and at school where you likely learn to play it, there are at least 35 of them. The recorder is an excellent way to grasp each note and hear what they sound like. So will the class next door. But of course, there are hundreds of other instruments to learn and appreciate. Instrumental skills take years of love and patience. Now we're locked in with our noise machines because our families aren't loud enough already. Perhaps you haven't touched your instrument in a few months, so it's time for you to make some music. First, you sit back in your chair and open up GarageBand.